right, welcome back everybody to Rome, and we've got kind of a bit of a crazy match to start. I mean, it's third round, so we should be starting to get some cool matches. This match is it's still the most confusing beef that I think we've ever seen. It seems such a one-sided fight when it comes to, well, it's two-sided. One-sided fight with words, one-sided fight when it comes to head-to-head, because one player dominates a head-to-head, lets the racket do the talking, the other player talks a lot and uses words. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, look, maybe Collins doesn't like the fact that she can't beat Swiatek. Maybe that's why she can't beat her on the court, so she beats her in the press conference. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. How did this come about? It's not even beef, because beef would mean that both players are going back and forth. Swiatek doesn't know either. She's like, I don't get it. But she keeps winning, so who cares? So let's see if it happens again, because I got no idea. Chat, do we know why Collins doesn't like Swiatek besides that one time? Last time they played was the Olympics. Only clay court meeting, which was won by Swiatek via retirement because of Collins was in the third. But that sparked. We already knew that they kind of. Well, we kind of had a feeling that there was some tension, but then that kind of was where it blew up, where Collins was said that Swiatek shouldn't pretend to be concerned about her well-being, and then of course the eye roll when we saw them at the United Cup at the start of the year. Again, we don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think Swiatek was. What was Swiatek going to do? Not say anything about someone getting injured? Of course you're going to be nice about it, right? Well, I don't know any player that would be like, "Oh, you're injured. Too bad for you. Sucks to be you." I mean, if that happened, then it would have made sense. But I don't get it. Swiatek was just doing the polite thing, even if who knows? Not everyone everyone who shakes heads at the end of the match says good game after a loss. I'm sure they're not happy about it. So I don't get it. But we'll see if today is a good match, because every time we get into these matches, we're coming off a really good one when they played the Olympics. There was a lot of stuff going on, right? What I just mentioned. But then the match after the interesting match turns out to be a flop. So every second match they play, we get hyped. We're like, oh my God, last time they played, it was blah, 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 blah. And then Swiatek wins 11-1. And we go, boring. And then the next match, we're like, the last match sucked. And then it gets better. So, I don't know if we're going to get a good match or a bad match. It's very hit and miss. Swiatek 7-1 in the head-to-head. She dominates. The only time she lost was that match against Collins at the Australian Open in the semis back in 2022. I think Swiatek was coming off a really hard quarterfinal and maybe ran out of gas. Also, Collins on a fast hard court does also do damage. Let me just have a check. So Swiatek in 2022, coming off that, I want to say it was what do you call it? I want to say it was against Kanepi. I want to say it was against Kanepi in that quarterfinal. So Australian Open, they played at the Australian Open twice, including last year, which was an epic. That was probably the last time. Well, the Olympics was epic, but the last match they played, the last one that was really good and memorable was that Australian Open where Swiatek was down, like 4-1 double break in the third and then come back to win. That was the last truly epic result. Quarterfinal, she came up against Kanepi, Swiatek did. Won that match in a marathon 3 hours and then had to play Collins and, overpowered and ran out of gas. And then, of course, Collins made the final. Barty won. And the rest, and then Swiatek decided to become the best player on the planet and dominate everybody. So, well, mostly everyone. There's one name we can't talk about. We don't mention that name when we watch Swiatek. We don't mention. But yeah, so again, I don't know what's going on. It just feels very one-sided, this beef. But Swiatek lets the racket do the talking, so maybe that's her response is bagels. You talk shit, I hit tennis balls. You chirp, I bagel. Maybe that's it. Let's not attack Collins in this stream. We're not attacking Collins. So nobody in the chat start attacking Collins. I'm just asking why. What is the beef? I don't get it. Collins, we know how she is. She has her way of going about things. People love that. People don't like that. She doesn't care. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. Like, she does not care if you like the way she goes about tennis. But let's just hope for a good match, because now that I've hyped it up, I hope it delivers. I hope it delivers. Key Stearns in tiebreak third set. Yeah, I saw that was kind of crazy, that one. That match is getting a little crazy. I expected that to be crazy, though. Stearns is very, very dangerous. Also, Rublev's about to lose to Marozsan. The Swiatek Danielle drama has deep lore. Does it, though? I mean, it's about as deep as Collins doesn't like her. Like, that's as deep as it gets, it seems. By the way, Swiatek jumping around and getting all, like, energized. Collins just standing there like, what are you doing? Like, the way Collins is standing there with her hand on her hip, just tapping her racket and going, what are you dancing for? What are you dancing around? Swiatek's going, Collins is like, what are you doing? They're going to get a photo together. They're very far apart. Luckily, the two kids in the middle, I feel bad. There's one kid, he knows the situation, that kid. The tall kid's just like, this is awkward, Mom. They're trying to get photos, but it's not working. Yeah, that kid's just like, this is awkward. Run, kids! Get out of there quick before somebody throws a fist. Run, kids! Run! Oh, they have to toss the coin now. Oh, no. I'll tell you what, chat, no eye contact. There is no eye contact. I don't think they didn't say good match. They didn't say good luck. There's nothing. They were staring at the umpire the entire time. And then as soon as the Swiatek elected to do whatever, she won the toss. There was no, like, good game, good match. They turned around and walked away. Swiatek ran to the baseline like Rafa, and Collins was like, whatever. Not many people there. I mean, they're missing out. They're missing out because this is by the way, it's a Saturday as well, so this is crazy there's no one there. By the way, winner of this play is either Baptiste or Svitolina. Svitolina has been in good form, so it's going to be a tough fourth round. No love lost. That's it. It's just so, like, look, even though it's so we don't know why, it still doesn't make it any less interesting. Like, it's still interesting. Let's just hope the match lives up to the excitement. Those kids at the net, they're just like, what is going on? What is it? There's a weird tension in the air. I don't know what's going on. Those kids felt uncomfortable. They knew. Sad that you'd pass the opportunity to see the best clay court on the planet in WTA. Yeah, I know, right? But it could be because the tickets are too expensive. It could be too early in the day. It's like 1 p.m. maybe on a Saturday. It's just, they've got people have other things to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why there isn't more people there. I mean, Berrettini just played. So I don't know if he had a lot more people there or if they all left after that because they want to go watch Italians or something. But I mean, this is one of the biggest matches. And I don't know if the WTA how they market this match, if they market it as like, I mean, I know it might not be like, highbrow, blah, blah, blah. But they gotta, like, the way they're going to market this is the beef. I mean, even if it's one-sided and it's weird, you get people coming to this match because there could be a fight. Like, you gotta do it, right? Like, the WTA have to promote this match as like as a fiery contest, But I don't know if they do that. I don't know if they're because sometimes tennis is a little bit too good for that. And you go, but people would watch this if they knew. There would be more people there if they knew that this could be spicy. If from Collins' side of the court anyway. I mean, there's more people here than in the stadium. We know about this rivalry. So by the way, I'm just going to mention this now because we're trying to have fun, right? We're having fun with this. We love that, even though it's, Collins is the one who's saying beef, blah, 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 blah. We're not, don't think that I'm giving you permission to trash Collins. All right? That's not what we're doing here. And if you're not a fan of hers, then just keep it to yourself. This is not a bashing Collins situation, all right? You might not like the way she goes about tennis, but doesn't give you the right to start bashing her, right? Because people in here like her, so respect it. Go for Swiatek, don't bash Collins. We're talking about beef and having fun, but you got to respect her, all right? You might not like her, but please show respect. We don't want people coming in here yelling, screaming shit. It's funny how yesterday nobody cared about the Russian handshake situation, yet it seemed that was the point of emphasis of both players in the media. Yeah, well, great. But, we're not getting into that again. We're not getting into that. But you know why, Kostyuk and Dasha shaking hands, it's not the same as, the people that yesterday were complaining about, why don't Ukrainians shake Russian players' hands? When you denounce your country, you basically are not associated with that country. That's where that respect came from. But again, people that were complaining yesterday or talking about the lack of handshakes, were not referring to Kostyuk shaking Raducanu's hand, Kostyuk shaking Putintsev's hand, Svitolina and whoever, right? It was all about, or why don't they shake Sabalenka's hand? And that's what people were having a problem with. The Dasha situation is a super unique one. It doesn't change what we talked about yesterday. Because people weren't talking about Dasha versus Kostyuk. It was Kostyuk versus everybody who's from Russia. Dasha's not Russian anymore. She denounced it. Or at least she moved. And that's all we're going to talk about that. Because again, it was good for that situation to happen. But it doesn't mean that Kostyuk's going to start shaking every person who was born in Russia's hand who plays for Russia. So don't get it twisted. Next time she plays a Russian player, she plays Mirra Andreeva, she's not shaking her hand. And then people are going to cry. But again, doesn't change things. She's been shaking Raducanu's hand all the time. Nobody talks about that. Anyways, back to what we're having fun. And Dasha lost anyway. Don't bring it up. It's a sore point, all right? God damn it. Don't bring up Dasha losing. I don't want to hear this shit. They're the rules. When Dasha loses, we don't talk about it. 15 love. I'm going with Swiatek in straights. Bring Dasha up in this stream. How dare you? We only talk about... I don't want to hear it. Wasn't a good time, all right? 15 love. There's a bit of fault from Swiatek. Second serve. Second serve. There's a bit of backhand return from Collins. Into the backhand Swiatek. Collins backhand. Into the backhand of Swiatek. Swiatek in the net. 15-0. Apparently Keys is out. Keys is gone. Also, Hurkacz Martinez. Hurkacz is kicking ass. Rublev and Keys are gone, by the way. Not that Rublev... I mean, Rublev's not top 10, so maybe... But Keys losing, that's a huge upset. 15-0. As we return now from Collins, goes out. 30-15. Please stop cursing. I'm Australian. I have to. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. I can't help... If I start censoring my... if I start censoring my language... it wouldn't be me. Also, for an Australian, I actually don't swear that much. I'm pretty good. If you listen to real Australian, demonetized. 30-15, you should listen to my friends. every second word. 30-15. Cam's Irish, profanity natural. Well, yeah, Irish, Australian. I mean, I think I'm pretty good with it. I don't think I'm that bad. And it's 30-all. Just cover your ears, all right? 30-all. Swiatek serves. Serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As Collins returns. That's a great return. Swiatek gets it, but Collins with another forehand. Swiatek slices it back. Collins forehand again. And Swiatek on the stretch. Hits it long. Collins got a break point. 30-40. 30-40. Thanks, Deb. 30-40. 30-40. As Swiatek serves. To the back of Collins, but it's a fault. Ooh, lucky it was a fault because it was a great return. Second serve. Second serve. Remember, Collins made the semis here last year. I'm pretty sure. Backhand return for Collins is the winner. Okay. Okay. That's a start. That is a start. One love, Collins. Swiatek does have slow starts. Yep, that is correct. So wait, last year, did Collins play Swiatek here last year, or did she play Gauff? She played Sabalenka. Gauff and I was almost right. Swiatek and Gauff played. Sabalenka and Collins played in the semis here. So wait, Keys. And Keys made the quarters. So Collins last year, by making the semis, she beat Garcia. She beat Begu, Blinkova, Azarenka. So, not a crazy, difficult road on paper, but she didn't come up against any huge threats until Sabalenka. So she didn't play Sakkari, for example. She didn't play, there was somebody withdrew from that section of the draw. I think it was Raducanu, right? I think Raducanu withdrew, so she missed her, and yeah. But still, made the semis. Yeah, she was supposed to play Raducanu in the fourth round, I think, but she skipped her because there was a withdrawal. How is it that Collins is still playing? Didn't she retire in 2023? No, she was going to retire last year, but changed her mind. As with a 4-1 winner from Collins, 15-0. And I don't know exactly. I mean, she's given reasons why she didn't retire. I think her initial retirement announcement was she wanted to go have kids because it's, for, I don't know, I'm so stupid with things, but it's hard for her to have children. So she didn't want to play tennis too long so that she could start a family. She's already over 30. So she wants to, have kids and stuff, and it's not easy for her. And, so she wanted to retire from tennis so that she could afford it. She could, doesn't miss out on that. And then she was playing really well. Everyone's like, why would you retire? You're playing so well. And then midway through the year, she started getting injured a lot. And I don't know what her personal life is. Like maybe, I don't know if there's partner involved, whatever, or not involved, whatever, I don't know. But she wasn't playing great if we get from a tennis point of view, because we can judge that because we watch tennis. And the second half of the year, she was injured a lot. And I don't think she wanted to go out that way by just sort of like losing first round US Open, not really being able to play. So I think for her, she probably reversed her retirement so that she could at least go out on her own terms instead of being injured for the second half of the year and then sort of like having a great start to the year and then just retiring with an injury, So I feel like that might have had something to do with it as well. So yeah. And now she's here. Because remember last year, she lost first round US Open and she serves an ace-30 all. 40-30, sorry. She lost first round of the US Open and she just left. She just walked off the court. Like, no interview, no nothing. And the whole tournament was like, hang on a second, I thought you were retiring. This is your last US Open. You don't want to speak? So I think that was the point where she was like, no, I'm going to play on because, you know, I don't want to finish playing hurt and not giving my best. I'd rather, you know, lose healthy and retire that way than retiring with injuries. And they're not career-ending injuries, obviously. That's why she's here. As we return from Swiatek, forehand from Collins, forehand to Swiatek. It's Collins' backhand. Goes wide, and we get the deuce. So yeah, I think a lot of those things came into it. All right, deuce. By the way, out of respect to everybody, we're not going to talk about the Pope. I know he likes tennis and he's American, and you know it's really, really, you know, it's a historic event, but it's not a tennis event. So, out of respect to people that are both religious and non-religious, we'll just leave the Pope conversation out of the chat. We don't need to talk about the Pope. Congratulations, America has a Pope, and apparently he likes tennis. Otherwise, you know, I don't want anyone to get like, you know, it's religion, right? We don't, you know, it's like politics. Let's stick to what we know. Backhand return goes in the backhand of Collins, forehand now from Swiatek into the forehand of Collins. Break point for Swiatek, but she hits in the net, and we're back to deuce. Just out of respect for you know, anybody who, I don't want anyone to feel like, you know, people making jokes and stuff. It's like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. All right, deuce. Just out of respect for people in the chat, you know? As Collins serves. She serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand, Swiatek. Good return. Collins backhand cross. Winner. On the backhand side. Advantage Collins. Advantage Collins to go to 2-love here. As we just serve again. Down the tee, the forehand, Swiatek. Backhand Collins. Swiatek's backhand goes in the net. 2-love Collins. 10 minutes to start this match. It has been a long start to the game. All right, that's 5. All right. No Pope talk, but what about White Sox? Hey! We're Rockies here, right? We go Rockies. Go Rockies! Go Rockies! We're going to win our 7th game soon, or 9th. How many games are we on? Season has just started. Don't even think about it. We're going to win our 7th game tomorrow. Don't you worry. Go Rockies! Essendon beat Sydney? Yeah, we did. We almost lost. We were up by 39 and we won by 8. It was bad. It was bad. All right. 2-love. Swiatek serves a fault. Second serve. I was so nervous. I didn't end up going, luckily, because I would have had a heart attack. But it's Collins at the backhand down the line, and it's in.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
You're the reason this is such a good channel. Leave politics or religion out of it, where you're talking to... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Love 15. Great backhand winner. So serve in the net from Swiatek. Second serve. Are we going to watch the doubles with Eala and Gauff? Yes. We might have to add it to this score, but yeah, we are going to watch that as well. Hopefully... after this match. And then we've got Sinner coming up in about 5 hours. So to serve now the backhand of Collins. Backhand of Swiatek. Down the line's a winner. 15-0. Lovely backhand winner. $15-all. Swiatek serves again. Into the forehand of Collins. Return goes back to Swiatek. Collins can't get there. Great shot, Swiatek. 30-15. Beautiful backhand. 30-15. Serve again. Here's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. There's a return. Goes in the forehand of Swiatek. Swiatek in the net. And it's 30-all. Chance for a double break here, Collins. $30-all. Serve again. Swiatek needs a first serve here. She serves on the tee, a fault. Second serve. And there's a return. Goes in the back of Swiatek. Collins backhand to the forehand of Swiatek. As Collins forehand cross. Swiatek gets on the stretch. Collins down the line. Goes long. And it's 40-30. Swiatek to get on the board. 40-30. Serve again. Into the back of Collins. Good return to the forehand of Swiatek. Collins again to the forehand of Swiatek. Into the forehand of Collins. Swiatek forehand of the stretch. Goes wide and it's deuce. And we get the deuce. Swiatek serves again. She serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Collins. Good return. Swiatek forehand again to the forehand of Collins. Swiatek can't get that one. Advantage Collins to take a double break. Advantage Collins. Advantage Collins. Swiatek serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Double fault. Wow. Swiatek tries with a big second serve. Doesn't work. Collins got the double break. 3-0. In 16 minutes. A lot of errors. I mean, Swiatek serve. Look at her first serve percentage. 31%. and only winning 20% second serve points. 29 now. It's gone down after that double fault. So, yeah, that is brutal. That is brutal. Okay. All right. 3 love. Three love. How we doing, chap? I took Collins' money line for this match and over 25 games. Okay. Should we be scared? Look, no. Not yet. Not yet. Swiatek's still warming up. And we know Swiatek lost a 6-love set to Keys and came back and won. So unless she's down a set and a break, I don't think alarm bells need to sound just yet. Big drop in rankings incoming. Yeah, well, look, it's the first set. Let's not lose our minds. We're just getting started. She hasn't even gone to the bathroom yet. No reason to be worried. Okay. I think Swiatek has lost confidence in tennis, and tennis is very much a confidence game. Also, I am not sure the newish serve is working. You're optimistic, bro. Swiatek will lose here and in RG. God, you're. By the way, chat, I'm having deja vu. This is exactly the conversations we were having when Keys won the first set 6-love last week. It's like deja vu again. Looking at the chat, it's like you were saying the exact same things when it was a 6-love, and you had more reason to think it was going to be over for that match because Keys on a fast Madrid court, 6-love first set, higher ranked than. I mean, yeah, you had a lot more reason to think Keys was going to dominate, and she came back anyway and won Swiatek. And everyone was saying the same thing, but so far no one said fire win 5Z. We're not there yet. We're not firing the coach yet. But everything else I'm reading, it's like, oh, I saw you. Everyone said this last week. And look what happened. She came back and won. Anyways, double fault Collins, love 15. All right, love 15. As Collins serves. To the forehand Swiatek, return the back into Collins. That's a great shot, Collins. Whew. She is playing well. 15-0. As poor as Swiatek's playing, Collins is playing very well. Not too many bad errors yet. All right. First serve is a fault. Second serve. As Collins serves. A let. Also, Rude versus Bublik have just started. And so has Fritz Giron. All right, serve again. 15-0. First serve's a fault, second serve. Serve. Into the backhand Swiatek. Good return the forehand of Collins. Swiatek backhand. Into the slice of Collins. Swiatek gets a backhand down the line. Collins guesses right, but it's too strong by Swiatek, and it's 15-30. 15-30. So to serve again. Sweet fault from Collins. Second serve. Second serve. To the backhand of Swiatek. Backhand from Collins. To the backhand of Swiatek as Collins gets the point. Swiatek overhits it. 30 all. All right, 30 all. 30 all. As Collins serves again. She's trying to keep this double break, extend her lead in this first set. And she does with a good point, 40-30. 40-30. To go to 4-love, Collins. Serve. Into the forehand of Swiatek. Forehand from Collins. Into the forehand of Swiatek, who hits it wide. And Collins is up 4-love. Now, if you can see the time on the clock, it's not been a quick 4-love. It's been 20 minutes. So you can tell that there's been a couple of close games, but Collins has been clutch. Which is why, after 23 minutes, she's up 4-love. But there have been some opportunities that Swiatek hasn't been able to take. So it might be 4-love, but it hasn't been easy. But Collins has been clutch. She's won the important points. 4-love, which if you're a Swiatek fan, maybe there's some hope there. If it was 4-love in 10 minutes, well, that's a bit scary. But Swiatek has had her opportunities. Just hasn't been able to take them yet. All right, 4-love is with a serve. Into the backhand of Collins. Good return. Swiatek's there, though, with the backhand down the line, and she overhits it. And it's love 15. Love 15. Serve again. There's a bit of return from Collins. Swiatek gets there with a forehand, but Collins on the attack. Again to the forehand of Swiatek. Collins, forehand again to the Swiatek forehand as Collins on the stretch. Goes down the line for a winner. That was scary. All right. Love 30. Collins looking for that bagel. Love 30. Collins is just being aggressive. And it's working. All right. Serve again. Here's a fault. Second serve. Second serve, Swiatek. It's double fault, and that is because Collins is being aggressive. And it's scary. And she's hit 3 double faults. Swiatek's second serve is a problem. Love 40, Collins to go to 5-love. Love 40. Swiatek serves. A fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Collins. Return is a winner. What are we watching? 5-love Collins. That was probably the worst service game of the match by either player. A love 40 break. And Collins is going to serve for a bagel. Okay. 5-0. All right. It's something in Swiatek's head, no self-belief, letting her opponents mess with her. Okay, let me talk about Swiatek for a second. In this particular match, so far she hasn't shown any signs of frustration. We've seen Swiatek in previous matches, even against Schneider a couple of, last week. Remember when she lost the second set and had to fight? She was showing that she was clearly annoyed and things weren't working and she was frustrated. She hasn't shown that yet. So even though she's now 5-love, she hasn't yet started to get angry. She's not angry yet. So that could be a good thing. Because last week when she was losing matches, she started to get really pissed off. But today, she's yet to get annoyed. She's keeping it cool. So maybe she knows something we don't. But she's not, she hasn't been arguing with the coach or, throwing her hands up or anything like that yet. That could change. She also knows that she can come back from 6-love down. She did that last week. So maybe she's not worried because she's done it before, But we'll see whether or not the frustration builds in the second if she doesn't miraculously come back here. Okay. Collins serving for a bagel. She wasn't bageled on a clay court for 6 years, and she's about to be bageled in 2 clay court events in 2 weeks. On clay. That's crazy. Return goes in the back of Collins. Great pickup. Swiatek gets it. Collins with a drop shot. Is in? It was in, okay.
This is going to be on Tennis TV, bro.
What a shot. All right. Lovely backhand drop shot from Collins. It hit the side of the line as well. That was a crazy shot. All right, 15-love. Collins serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Swiatek. Backhand from Collins goes out. 15-0. Serve again. $15-all. As Collins serves the back of Swiatek, return off the tape, the back of Collins. Collins hits a wide, 15-30. Little chance for Swiatek to get on the board. 15-30. $15-30. Serve to the forehand of Swiatek. Return to the forehand of Collins. Swiatek forehand on the stretch. Goes off the tape. And in. Swiatek says sorry, but we don't know. Is Collins going to accept it? I don't know. 15-40. Did she mean it? 15-40. Break back points to get on the board here, Swiatek. I think at this rate, it's just to avoid a bagel. I don't think it's got anything to do with coming back in general, but not getting bageled is probably the key at the moment. First serve's a fault, second serve. Second serve. Serving to the forehand Keys. Somebody said Keys in the chat. Swiatek hits it in the net. And kicks the clay! Oh no. First sign of annoyance. First signs of frustrations. 30-40. Swiatek kicking the dirt. She's not happy that she missed a second serve return. She's talking to herself as well. It seems like Swiatek's more like intense instead of angry. She's more like, she looks way more like intense. Second serve, Collins. Is a double fault, and that is a free game. All right, 5-1. Swiatek gets a break back. No bagel. No bagel. Wowza.
Is the end of the world near? This just doesn't feel right.
Even if Iga wins this match, the unbeatable clay court specialist aura she built is showing heavy cracks.
I mean, maybe. Anyways, thank you, Wowzer, for the 2. Hey, but also thank you, Shashank, for the 17 months, and also Dominique for the 11 months. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. All right, Swiatek. Love 15. Lose the first point on serve again. Love 15. Jams.
Iga, what the firewall is happening?
Thank you for the $2. As it is serve out wide, the backhand of Collins. Backhand of Swiatek is in the net. Love 30. All right, love 30. Serve again. Love 30. Serve is a fault by Swiatek. Second serve, and Swiatek just missing more first. I mean, her first serve is the problem today. Her first serve is the issue. 35% first serve points. First serve's in. 33, sorry, now. Serve out wide the corner. Collins returns a winner. Love 40. I mean, you can't beat Collins without a first serve. Like, unless Collins just starts playing bad, but she ain't playing bad today. Love 40. Swiatek still might have to go to the bakery. It'll just be a different shaped baked good. Love 40. Collins to take the bagel. So to take the breadstick. Serve. Into the back of Collins. That's a return winner. There it is. 6-1. Swiatek didn't hold serve at all in that set. 4 for 4 on break points was Collins. And the serving of Swiatek, I mean, 36% points. 36% of first serves in. Only winning 38% of those points. 14% second serve points. That is a problem. And 3 double faults. You can't beat Collins with a second serve. You have to have a first serve. By the way, thank you, Julian, for the 13 months. Appreciate that. Yeah. And it was interesting because like the first probably 4 games were pretty close. Like Swiatek could have held serve a couple of times there, but then she just started giving Love 40 games. And it's like, what's that going to do? 3 winners from Swiatek, 10 errors. Collins, 12 winners, 8 errors. But it was all the serving Swiatek. Her serving was horrendous. All right. Six one. So first thing, Swiatek needs more first serves. At least getting more first serves in. She might not have to hit big first serves, but more first serves. Otherwise, this is going to be over and she's going to be out and nobody's going to know who's going to win the French. All right. How are we? Collins can really breadstick even very good players. Yeah, true. Why doesn't Swiatek hire a serve technician? Maybe she will. Maybe she will. But I think that's what Wim Fizet was there is there to help with. Like that's what he is there for. And again, we don't know the exact criteria for hiring Wim. If it was, what the reason was. But Wim Fizet, he's been lucky enough to coach some of the best servers, right? Some of the big servers like Osaka, Zhang, Azarenka, Kvitova, right? Great servers. Azarenka, great servers. But he's also coached players that don't have a big serve, like Kerber, Halep, Irani, right? So, and again, we're just all guessing here, but I can imagine that maybe Swiatek brought him on, not only because he has so much experience and he's won so many Grand Slams as a coach, but also because he's coached players that are not... He has coached a variety of players, right? It's not like he's only coached big hitters, and all of a sudden he's coaching Swiatek, who's not that type. But he's coached players like Halep. He's coached, Kerber was probably the last player, and coached Kerber to win Wimbledon, right? Back in 2018. So that might be the reason why. Maybe he isn't a serve technician, but making someone like Kerber on grass a threat and beat Serena, right? Maybe that's the reasoning why. We don't know the exact reason why. And we also, I know it's been like 6 months, nearly over 6 months now. They've been working together. Sometimes these new coaching changes don't instantly work. It's not like, oh, by the way, do this on your serve and you'll serve 100 aces now. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes Swiatek's just going to have to keep at it, right? Keep doing the new technique or using the new service action, and it might not work straight away. It might never work, right? It might not work. Maybe, and at the moment it feels like it's not working. But then again, maybe it will click on the grass, which is... Swiatek is going to play. She said she's playing Wimbledon at this stage. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Because she wouldn't have got him on if he couldn't help her with that serve. Because the serve was... We see it because we watch her all the time. Her serve was the thing that was getting attacked by Gauff, by Sabalenka, by Penko, by Collins, by... Zhang, right, at the Olympics. Her serve was the thing that was the most vulnerable thing. And yeah, she's not serving much better, but she's also trying to serve bigger. And if you try to hit the ball harder on serve, then you're going to make more errors, right? I mean, you can't just be like, I'm just going to hit the serve harder, and then all of a sudden your first serve percentage stays the same and you get more aces. It's like, there's going to be a little bit of a give. It's just that this is like, if you miss your first serve, then the second serve is going to get attacked anyway, right? Because that was half the problem. So again, it's just... And look, Swiatek and Fizet, they probably have a timeline of things in their head of how long they're going to try to work on something. Obviously, if Swiatek doesn't feel like it's working, she'll make a change. But, yeah. I mean, we know that the serve is... her serve starts working, everything else will work. She doesn't have a forehand-backhand problem, But when she misses the serve and then gets in a rally, she can panic sometimes because she's not getting the free points on serve. That she's not getting easier points. So she has to try and hit a winner off the second shot because she's panicking a little bit when she's in a rally. Anyways, love 40. She's about to get the break here, so, I mean, we know that she can come back from this situation. Love 40. Has a bit of fault second serve. Yeah, we're watching Sinner later. Yep. We're definitely watching Sinner later. There's a backhand return out of the backhand of Collins, but Swiatek gets it out. 15-40. Quarter just won, by the way, so we're going to do a double header with the doubles. And that doubles is between with Gauff and Eala. So we're going to chuck that on the card as well. All right, 15-40. Collins still down break point. Serves a fault second serve. Second serve is a let. $15.40. Serve to the back of the Swiatek. Return is wide. 30-40. 30, 40. Players that usually take big sabbaticals usually never climb their former heights. Look, I'm sure we could name probably at least 5 to 10 players that did that and then come back and actually do. I mean, yeah, if you want to go by percentages, probably a lot more players don't come back, but you can't say that if Swiatek took a time off that she wouldn't come back to her best. Especially if she was gone for a month. But again, she said she's playing Wimbledon, so depends on how long the sabbatical is. Yeah, some players take a year off, come back even better. Some players retire and come back, you know. All right, deuce. Collins from love 40. Has a bit of fault from Collins. Second serve. Second serve. And the return goes in the net by Swiatek, and she's starting to get angry now. She knows that missing second serve returns is unacceptable. So what's a sabbatical? A sabbatical is just basically a break. Taking a break. A hiatus. Anyways, advantage Collins. Collins with a serve. Here's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Swiatek. Return goes to forehand to Collins. Swiatek backhand. Inside out winner. Okay. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. As we get a serve again. Back to deuce. By the way, chat, I have a question. Does anyone own and use in their house a projector? And if so, are they good? I'm thinking of getting one. Is it a serve out wide as a fault? Second serve? Or if you have one, is it bad? Is it not good? Serve. Double fault. All right, advantage. Swiatek. Projector to play Nintendo Switch. No, I just want to get a projector just because. Like, not an expensive one, but hell no. I'll get a second-hand one or a cheap one. My husband loves his projector. I prefer TV than projector. Just quality isn't the same. Okay. Depends on the lumens. Projectors are good. I have a lot. Do you need to borrow? No, it's all good. Thank you. As that goes out by Swiatek on the return. Deuce. Why is Pegula isn't playing doubles with Coco? They haven't played doubles for a while. Just need the space and the blinds for it? Okay. All right. Deuce again. Has a bit of fault. Second serve. Second serve. Double fault Collins. Okay. She's starting to drop her level. Advantage Swiatek. All right, advantage Swiatek. Yeah, Ash Barty took a sabbatical and she came back and won everything. Yeah, Barty's a great example of taking time off and then coming back and kicking ass. That's a good example. I mean, there's a lot of other examples, but Barty's a great example of taking time off and then then taking over when you get back up for the second chance, you know? She went and played another sport and then came back and then went, I'm just going to win tennis now. Backhand to backhand rally as Collins hits it wide, and there's the break. All right, Swiatek won. Love in the second. Swiatek, by the way, just talking to the umpire, I think about an elbow injury. She pointed at her elbow, so I don't know what's going on with that. Something's up. We'll see if, unless she was just scratching her arm. By the way, Swiatek against, in her last 50 matches against players outside the top 30, she's 41 wins, 1 loss. Who was the one loss, chat? Outside the top 30? Who was the one player that beat her who was outside the top 30 on a clay court? Welcome, everybody. We've got doubles going on as well. Bit of a double header with doubles. We've got Eala and Gauff. We've got to figure out a name for them because every doubles combination has a name. But we're also watching Swiatek. She's in a little bit of a bind at the moment. So we've got a bit of... and these matches are a little bit overlapping. So that's why we're here. And the answer is... The answer to the question is not Penko. Funny enough. It's not Ostapenko. Because Penko was inside the top 30. I'm saying outside the top 30. Not Ostapenko. Not Krejcikova either. Think back to 2022. We went back to Poland on a clay court. Remember Poland on clay? When Swiatek went and played that? Remember that? 3 years ago? After Wimbledon? Anyways, Love 30 Collins about to break back. Yeah, it was Garcia. She was 45 in the world at the time. So that was the rise of Garcia, because Garcia was, like, that season was the one where she made the finals and won the trophy, right? Won the WTA trophy. So she was 45 in the world, Garcia, in the middle of 2022. Finished the world at like number 5. So 4 months later, she was top 10. But yeah, so that's, it was Garcia. 45 in the world at the time. So, I mean, that's still impressive on Swiatek's part. It's like, oh, she lost to Garcia, who was way underranked at the time. As Swiatek gets a great serve out wide. 30-0. So there you go. Garcia, the only player in the last 50 matches to take out Swiatek on clay. And she's the only player she's the second player in the 2020s to take out Swiatek on clay as well. Rus, back in Rome 2020, just before the French, also beat Swiatek. But Swiatek wasn't who she is now back in 2020. Before the French in 2020, nobody knew what to expect. But since Swiatek became the queen of clay in the 2020s, Garcia is the only player outside the top 30 to beat her. The commentators on the TV just gave the answer away. Oh, boo! Spoiled the fun. Yeah, spoiler alert. Jesus. Anyways, return goes in from Collins. Deuce. Boo! Commentator. Boo. By the way, shout out to Nightbot for doing a great job. Good work, Nightbot. As that goes out by Swiatek. No, sorry, goes in by Swiatek on the backhand. It's advantage Swiatek. That's right. You shoot down those people that are being rude. All right, fault from Swiatek. Second serve. Second serve. By the way, Rude just won the first set against Bublik 6-4. Backhand rally. As Collins hits a winner, and it's deuce. Also, Giron is serving for the first set against Fritz. We get back to deuce. Was waiting for the for Gauff and Eala to take the court. And we can watch her play. They're playing against the Hungarian pair. Hungarian players. Stola. And I don't know if Panova is also Hungarian. No, Panova is from Russia. Panova, the most experienced player on the court. She's 36. Stola, I think, is about mid-20s. Swiatek shanks it. And it goes out. Yeah, Swiatek's starting to get frustrated again. She's looking real worried now. We hadn't seen this in the first set from Swiatek. She kept it together. But Collins got a break point advantage, Collins. Swiatek serves a fault second serve. Second serve, Swiatek. Serve to the forehand, Collins. Great return winner. All right. Collins is back on serve. 1-1. 20 minutes for 2 games in this second set. Crows just kicked 3 quick goals. Looking good now. Wait, really? I know they were down when I last checked. Oh, you're kicking us. They were down by 8 when I last checked. Now you're up. Also, Bulldogs almost came back to win against Gold Coast. They were up by 30, Gold Coast, and they almost lost. No, I know how that felt today. Anyways, Collins back on serve, 1-1. Her catch 1. Nice. Hopefully he stays healthy. Is it a backhand now from Collins? The backhand Swiatek. Collins down the line. Swiatek with a forehand cross. Collins gets it. Into the forehand Swiatek, who hits it inside out for a winner. Beautiful shot. 15 love. All right, Eala and Gauff are about to hit the court. So, love to see it. So JSB, I feel like some people in the chat are also picking up on what you're saying. I think you just got to let it go, mate. I feel like you're just kind of going around in circles with what you're saying. The old coach was better. Bring back the old coach. The psychology coach is not it. Wim Z is not it. And then you just go back in circles and you just keep repeating yourself. And I get it. You're frustrated. But it's also like kind of repetitive, mate. And I think people in the chat are starting to pick up on it. That you keep saying the same things every 5 minutes. By the way, Gauff and Eala on the court, having a chat. No, I already like this combo. This is already a great combination. This is already a great combo. I'm excited. Chat, we're going to figure out a name. Coachella? Are we going to call them Coachella? I feel like Coachella might be the name. Coachella? Do we agree? Coachella? Coachella. Easy. The submissions for names have now stopped. They will be now known as Coachella. Anyways, 30-15. There's been a fault from Collins. Second serve. There's been a serve again. As the return goes in. Out by Swiatek, 40-15. Coachella sounds like a party that I want to be in. Yeah. This is going to be a fun party combo. I was going to say we could call them Coachella, but I feel like that's a little bit, that could be misinterpreted. 2-1. I feel like Coachella's easy. Coachella. Coachella. No, that's too hard to say. Coachella's easier. All right. Coella? Coella's not bad. If Swiatek loses this, it's going to be another heartbreaking loss. Yeah. 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 But also, I mean, look, is it a bad loss for Swiatek? Yes, okay. Clay court losses are bad. But also, she's not losing to randoms. She's just not used to losing on clay to these players. You know, and I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that this is a good result, obviously. It's not. But like, if she loses to Collins, right? She loses to Gauff. She lost to Ostapenko. If it was a hard court, we weren't playing on clay right now, we'd all think that makes sense. It's just that because it's on clay that it doesn't make sense. Even Keys. You know, Keys taking her to 3 sets, If it was on a hard court, we probably wouldn't even mention it. We'd be like, oh yeah, well, if we were playing Cincinnati, we wouldn't even think about it. If this was the US Open Series, we'd be like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But because it's on a clay court, we're all like, how did she lose to Gauff? How did she lose to Collins this way? Like, how is she losing? So that's the only. I feel like it's not like she demolished Cocciaretto first round. If she lost to her, that would have been like next level crazy, right? What the hell is that all about? But then she's just struggling more on clay, but she's still not losing to players that she hasn't had trouble with. She's not losing to players that she's never lost a set to. She's lost to Penko. We all know that. She's lost to Gauff. She lost to Keys in Australia, so we know that she's had that problem. She's had problems with Collins, but she's just won most of them. So, I mean, look, on a clay level, it is strange. But I don't think it's catastrophic. Like, I don't think this is like, oh no, what is going on? Why is Swiatek losing to randoms? It's not really random. It's just random. It's new to see her losing on clay like this. Because last year she didn't lose. Year before that, I mean, she doesn't lose to these players on clay usually. On hard courts, Gauff's gotten her a few times. Penko obviously has. Collins has pushed Swiatek on hard courts a lot. It's the clay court that's making it weird. But it's not the opponents aren't weird that she's struggling against. Keys, Collins, Gauff, Penko. I mean, Eala, right? It's just that she doesn't usually struggle on a clay court with those players. But it still doesn't. I mean, if you didn't know what surface we're playing on, you would go, well, that makes sense that she's struggling against those players. Because she has. It's just that not on this surface, usually. 30 love. Swiatek says an ace, 40 love. Eala and Gauff are just warming up their last couple of shots. And then we will get that party going. It's not even a bad season by any standards. We're just so used to her winning everything. And it's a surprise, crazy high standards. Yeah, exactly. She is she's a victim of her own dominance, really, right? I mean, we're so used to seeing her bagel people that when she loses a set 6-1, we're like, wait, what happened? But, she set the bar so high that it was going to be impossible to keep that up. And not think that anybody else was going to catch up, right? I mean, Gauff lost all the matches to start with, but Gauff's also just turned 20. So it's like, well, Gauff was always going to get better. Sabalenka was always going to figure it out, or was had the opportunity to figure it out with that serve if it works. All right, 2-0. She finally holds serve. First time today that she's held serve. All right. Serve again from Collins, 2-0. There's a bit of return now in the net from... Oh, sorry, it was a let by Collins, my bad. Well, I think the breeze is sort of kicked up a little bit as well. All right, Eala and Gauff are about to start. Who you got, chat? I've got... I'm going to go Gauff, Eala. I'm going to go Coachella. Let's go. Coachella is the name. And Gauff's going to serve first in this doubles match. Serve to the forehand of Panova, and Panova in the net. Coachella win the first point. It's so interesting watching Gauff play doubles because you can just tell, like, I don't think it comes out when she's playing singles as much how tall she is. As Collins serves an ace and it's 15-0. Like, we don't, like, yeah, okay, we see Gauff standing next to Sabalenka or we see Gauff standing next to Swiatek, whatever, in the singles when they're saying hi. But when she's playing doubles with someone, especially someone who's shorter than her, you can just tell how tall she is. No wonder she can hit 200k serves, right? I mean, it just shows how, she is one of the taller players on tour. And Eala is what? 5... What's Eala's height? Eala is 175, so like sort of the average. But next to Gauff, she looks tiny. And it's 30-15 as Collins tries to get back in front. Swiatek just getting very talkative. Also, backhand from Gauff goes into the backhand of Stolar. Another backhand from Gauff, but the volley from Panova is too good. 30-all. Gauff's like 5'8". Now, Gauff's like 5'11", I think. Pretty sure Gauff's like 180. See, this is where this is BS. Online, it says that Gauff's 175 and Eala's 175, but they're not the same height at all. There's no way they're the same height. Gauff is at least this much bigger. As we get a lovely volley from Eala, and it's 40-30. Gauff's at least, whatever this is, taller. At least 10 centimeters taller. At least. So it's either the Eala's shorter than it says, or more likely Gauff is taller than what the internet says. Because maybe they haven't. I mean, what? She's not 5'9". Gauff's not 5'9", and Eala's not 5'9". They're not the same. Gauff's got to be 5'11", and Eala might be 5'8". They're not the same height. Gauff is like this much taller. There's no chance. Anyways, you need to see Gauff stand next to Sabalenka because there's no way they're the same height. There's no way. There's no way they're the same height. I'm not. Gauff's not wearing platforms. There's no way. Same height is crazy. Gauff's listed at 5'9". That's crazy. Then Eala must be 5'5". Like, what the hell are we talking about? There's no way they're the same height. Gauff is 5'10" or 5'11". I've interviewed her and I am 5'7". Okay, yeah. Anastasia, yeah. So Gauff is taller than they say. It's probably, again, look, this is probably the reason why is because the WTA website probably updated 5 years ago when Gauff was 16, right? And they just didn't update it. Because, and same with Andreeva, right? Andreeva's like 5'11" as well. But she's probably on the WTA website, it's probably like 5'8", because 3 years ago, they were like, oh, we were 5'8", and they just haven't updated it. All right. Nice hitting there from Coachella. Love 15. Swiatek, by the way, in big trouble. As Eala hits a lovely volley. And Panova goes straight to Eala again. Now, Gauff with the pass, but the drop volley winner by Stolar is very nice. 15-all. All right, back to Swiatek. 3-2 Collins in the second. Right with Andreeva. She is taller too. Yeah, Andreeva is, I watch her in the Dasher vlogs. And I know Dasher's like, 5'7", 5'8"? And Andreeva just towers over her. I think, Andreeva and Gauff have to be closer to Sabalenka. Sabalenka's at least just under 6 foot, right? So they've got to be close to her. All right, love 15. Collins trying to get the break. The serve again from Swiatek. Into the forehand of Collins. Return goes into the forehand of Swiatek, who overhits it, man. That forehand is not working. She keeps just shanking it. Love 30. Who's the tallest in WTA? I think currently it's either Pliskova or Kvitova at 6'1". But I think the tallest ever player was Davenport, right? 6'3", I think. I think Lindsay Davenport is the tallest player of all time. I think. Tallest women's player of all time. Oh, yeah, Raducanu too. I forgot about it. Raducanu's 6'1", 6'2". As we forehand now into the backhand of Swiatek. Slice from Collins goes in. Swiatek backhand again. Collins on the stretch gets it, but it goes long. 15-30. Yeah, Raducanu is tall too. Haddad Maia. Yeah, anyone over 6 foot on the WTA is definitely considered tall. Sharapova was taller than Lindsay? I don't think so. I think Lindsay was taller. I mean, look, we can't take the internet for 188 for Sharapova. And Eala and Gauff get the break, by the way. 2-love. Davenport, apparently Davenport and Sharapova were nearly identical Davenport was 1 centimeter taller. So let's just assume that, they're not 100% correct. Let's just say they're the same height. They were the same height in centimeters. We'll just go with that. Anyways, 2-love, Eala serving as the backhand return goes out by Panova. Venus? I don't think Venus is as tall as them, though. I know Venus is definitely up there too, right? Venus is 185, so just a little bit under that. Davenport was like 190. Sharapova was around that too. Kruger's also tall, you're right. Yeah, Kruger is also on the tall side, for sure. All right, Swiatek holds 3-all. That was a tough game. She gets out of it. Anyways, back to tennis. As we had a volley there from Gauff into the backhand of Stoller, and Stoller hits a winner. Or did it go wide? It went in. Great shot. 15-all. Lovely hitting. Now, Stoller and Panova are definitely more of a doubles combination. They played a lot more doubles together. Eala, probably the least experienced player on the court in doubles. Gauff obviously played a lot of doubles. We know that. She's also won a lot. She's won, a doubles Grand Slam. But Stoller, and I'll talk about Stoller and Panova in a second. All right, Swiatek. She is in a battle. 3-all in the second. As Collins with a serve. Collins 15-love. As Collins serves. Into the corner, Swiatek return. Goes out. 30-love. As the other struggles on serve. 30-all. 30-all. Swiatek's first serve percentage is back to where it should be. Yeah, it's slowly climbing. I mean, Collins, credit to Collins, she's taken every chance on serve she's had. Every chance on return that she's had, 5 out of 5. So she's got a break point. She broke. And it's 40-love. Collins go to 4-3 in the second. As Eala 30-40 down break points. Gauff couldn't quite react to the volley. Break point for Panova. Stoller. Coachella for the win. Let's go. All right, 40-love. Collins serves. A fault. Second serve. Second serve. Nice volley there from Gauff there, and she gets to deuce, but they've got to play sudden death. There's a backhand return out of the backhand of Collins. Backhand of Swiatek. Again, the backhand of Collins, who hits it down the line for a winner. 4-3. Collins leads as Eala serves. Fault. Second serve. Second serve. It's a double fault. And Gauff, Eala get broken. Back on serve 2-1 in the dubs. So for those who were watching the doubles, so Panova is the most experienced player on the court in the doubles arena. In the other team. Gauff's the most experienced player. She's got the best doubles record. But Panova on the opposite team, she has been 30 in the world, which is actually currently her ranking. 10 titles in doubles, 2 quarterfinals of slams last year. So she is the more experienced. She's 36 years old as well. Of the two. And then Stoller, she has got 52 in the world. That was this year, but hasn't really got any doubles results to speak of yet. So she is still sort of trying to get those doubles results, but not too much success at slams. But that is a little intro into. And Stoller's only 26, so she's still sort of in the middle of her career. Winner of this match, by the way, will take on possibly the 7th seeds, who are Danilina, and Kromacheva, the 7 seeds. And then Arani and Paolini are also in this section. So that could be Arani Paolini versus Eala and Gauff could be kind of fire. But that has to be a night session on centre court. If they don't do that, a night session on centre court, Rome, what are you doing? Like Rome Open, what are you doing? You don't get Coachella versus the Italian gold medalists. I mean, come on now. Okay. Hey, Joanne, thank you for the 15 months. Thank you for the 15 months. Appreciate it. Jams.
Can Iga come back? Or do I pull my bets now? Thinking face.
We'll find out soon. It's Collins hits a lovely lob, and it's love 15. Wowza.
What has changed in Iga's game that you see? Just last year she seemed untouchable on clay, and now when she steps on court she just seems so vulnerable. Do you think the coach change has a part?
Thank you for the donation. We talked about it before. It's the serve, and also maybe the more aggressive style that she's trying to incorporate as well. That's not working. Like she's gone away from consistency to bring in more aggression, and when you're more aggressive, you're gonna hit more errors. And Swiatek didn't hit errors. She used to be solid on the baseline, never gave anything away. The serve was always a problem with the serve at times, but it was attackable. But she just kind of she's trying to hit bigger serves so that the serve doesn't get attacked. But she's also looks like she's trying to be more aggressive on the ground strokes and not set the points up like she used to. Again, maybe out of fear of being attacked. She's trying to attack before Collins attacks, for example, right? But yeah, it's just a lot of a lot of errors, and the serve isn't getting any better. So it's yeah. As that backhand goes in the net from Collins, and it's 40-15 Swiatek. And look, yeah, the coaching change, new coach, new strategy, right? And the strategy doesn't seem to be working at the moment. But I think more things I think that the ban, and not so much maybe the month off, but more the reaction to the ban that she, online that she must have read. I think that, taking what people were saying about her being a cheat and stuff and her trying to prove her innocence, most of us don't look at that and go, oh, we can see that it was a clear mistake. We understand that, it wasn't her fault. But it's those, that small percentage of people that are really loud, even though they're really small, they're really loud. And I think those are the people that she might have heard more of. Because, most of us in the chat here, we don't think Swiatek's a cheat. I don't think, most of us here don't think Swiatek benefited from melatonin tablets, right? We don't think any of that. But she got banned, and that, and maybe that was a bit unfair. Maybe some of the things it was too harsh. But I think she was probably just reading the wrong people's, trying to prove herself to them, and maybe that has dented her confidence on the court as well. So, yeah. And, and at that time when that stuff happened, she was also changing coaches. So it was like there's a lot of things going on at the same time there. And you got to think that's going to take a toll on her, But again, she played so well in Australia. Like the Australian Open, she nearly made the final. It's only been the clay season and maybe Indian Wells, Miami, where we've kind of gone, what's going on? January was great. Yeah, she lost to Gauff. Yeah, she lost to Keys, but she made the final with Poland, and her catch wasn't helping too much, unfortunately, because he was a little bit, he was between coaches and he was injured, at times, or he was not being able to help as much, and then she was 1 point away from the Australian Open final, which she'd never been that close to playing well, playing there in Melbourne, right? She made a semi-final before, but she wasn't that close. She got beaten by Collins easily that time. But then after that, that's, she lost Doha for the first time in forever. That was a shock. Andreeva did get better, though. I mean, Andreeva got the better of her a few times. Penko was in the way. I mean, the Eala loss was kind of random, but then Eala beat everybody that week almost, So again, I don't know if it's Swiatek has dropped her level, but I do also think that a lot of players have lifted. Gauff's gotten better, obviously, right? We've seen that. Obviously, Andreeva's gotten better, right? Not only against Swiatek, but against everybody. She was beating everybody else. She was beating Sabalenka too, right? I think there's just more threats now for Swiatek. When before, she never lost to Gauff. Her and Sabalenka would have tough matches. It would be 1 versus 2. She could handle Pegula most of the time. Penko is up and down, that she didn't have to play her every week, luckily. So I just think there's just more threats now. And yeah, she's dropped her level because she's felt those threats are going to ruin her game, and she's got to fix her game to counteract those threats. But I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully it won't be forever. I mean, Swiatek's still got it. It's not like Swiatek's done. She's never going to come back and win anything. It's just that she's struggling to players that we don't expect it. Or that we haven't, especially on clay, that we haven't expected on clay. Like Keys on clay, who would have thought, right? Gauff winning it easily on clay against Swiatek 2 years ago, or even 12 months ago, nobody would have thought that. Because the scoreline was the opposite, right? Anyways, 4-0. As Collins serves, a let. Also, Eala and Gauff are up 3-2. As we're serving from Collins into the back of Swiatek. Return goes into the back of Collins. Swiatek forehand into the forehand of Collins. Collins hits it long, and it's love 15. Love 15. Yeah, her grandpa passed away last week as well. Yeah, so we could maybe put that down to like last week. Her results maybe were under duress, for sure. All right, love 15. Collins with a fault second serve. Also, it's 15-40. Chance for Eala and Gauff to break again in this first set in the dubs. As the backhand of Swiatek, inside out to the forehand of Collins. Swiatek backhand to the backhand of Collins. Collins into that Swiatek forehand as Collins forehand cross. Swiatek gets it. Collins forehand down the line. Swiatek gets it with a backhand slice. Collins with the forehand again as a winner. 15-0. Some people do end up having a better draw than when the draw was first made. True. These tournament draws are brutal, yeah. I mean, hindsight's a great thing because we can look now and go, wow, this is a crazy... Swiatek's having a real tough time. But even if Swiatek wins this match, she might still have to play Svitolina, which is a nightmare if you know what Svitolina's been up to. And then, I mean, Osaka has a chance to make the quarterfinals. Osaka versus Swiatek, if we get that, would be very interesting. By the way, Eala and Gauff have broken and they're up 4-2. As Collins gets to 30-15. If Swiatek does lose this match, though, it's going to be Svitolina possibly making a semi. Bottom half of the draw is wide open. All right. 30-15. Yeah. 30-15. As Collins serves again. Into the forehand Swiatek. Backhand out from Collins. The backhand Swiatek. As Collins down the line. Swiatek with a forehand cross. Collins gets on the stretch, but it's wide. 30-0. 30-0. Swiatek might Might be able to steal this. It's funny how when Swiatek was winning her matches, no one mentioned the passing of her grandpa until she started losing. But I didn't know that happened until the start of this week. So I'm not saying that the reason she's losing today is because of that, but I didn't know last week that that's what happened. 30-all. As it is back in our return to the forehand of Collins. Forehand of Swiatek. Again, the forehand of Collins. Swiatek backhand cross. Collins gets it. Into the backhand of Swiatek. Collins backhand again. Is wide. And it's 30-40. By the way, 5-2 for Coachella. Had I have known like the start of last week that she had, or the start of Madrid, we would have praised her for winning those matches that she did easily. She only won one match easily, though. It was the Noskova match was the only easy match for her. She did struggle against Eala. She struggled against Schneider. Obviously, Keys as well, and Gauff. But then again, if you think Eala, Noskova, Keys, Gauff, they're all very tough opponents. Even if she didn't have to deal with going to a funeral at the start of the week, you know? So you take that out of it, it's still a very tough draw, you know? Now we get to deuce. Collins survives. Collins hanging on here, trying to avoid a third set. She serves a fault, second serve. Serve Collins. Into the back of Swiatek. Forehand from Collins. Again, the forehand of Swiatek as Collins on the stretch. Can't get it. All right, Swiatek with another break point to take the break and serve for the second. By the way, Stoller serving to stay in the set for her team against Coachella. All right, break point. Swiatek. As Collins serves the back of Swiatek. Return goes in the back of Collins. Swiatek forehand down the line in the net. And we get back to deuce. Back to deuce. As Gauff returns into the volley of Panova, but Gauff gets it back. Stoller goes again into the back of Gauff, and Gauff in the net. 15-all. There's Collins with an ace. Advantage, Collins. Advantage, Collins. 1:25 on the clock. It's been a long... If this is, 6-1, 6-4, it's been a long straight sets. As the backhand return goes back into Collins, Swiatek's there with a forehand. Into the forehand of Collins. Swiatek forehand inside out. Collins gets there with a slice. Swiatek on the attack. Puts it away. And we get back to deuce. This feels like a very crucial game for this match. We get back to deuce. Lovely hitting by Swiatek. As Collins serves again. Where am I watching doubles? I'm watching on WTA TV. As Collins serves that wide, Swiatek chips it back, but it goes out, and it's advantage Collins. Advantage Collins, also 30-all for the doubles as Stoller hits an ace down the tee. 40-30. All right, advantage Collins to stay in front. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Second serve is a let. Also, Gauff's going to serve out for this first set for the doubles here. Serving the backhand of Swiatek. Return the net. All right, Collins holds. That was a big game. 5-4. Collins leads. Swiatek's going to serve to stay in the match. Why are you not watching Paolini once? Because they're not playing at the moment. They're playing later. All right, 5-4. Collins leads. All right. There's Gauff. Hits a backhand inside out into the forehand of Panova. Gauff forehand again. The forehand of Panova is Gauff. Goes the volley of Stolar. Gauff picks it up with a forehand, though, and then the backhand from Panova. It's Gauff hanging in this rally. Taking both players on. Eala hasn't hit the ball yet, and then Gauff wins the point. 15-love.
Unbelievable.
That was 2-on-1. Eala was just trying to get out of the way. Nice work from Coco. 15-love. Not much Eala could do. I mean, she was just trying to not get hit by the ball. Gauff too good. 15-love. As Coco serves again. Fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Stolar. Forehand from Gauff into the backhand of Stolar. Volley from Eala is good, but Stolar's there with a volley again from Eala. And Stolar missed again. An air swing. 30-love. Eala gets a volley winner to her name. All right, 30-love. As Gauff serves again. By the way, DJ Crow's got the win. Jesus, mate, you hung on there. That was risky. That was close, mate. Good win by the Crows. Anyway, double fault for Gauff. As the return goes out by Collins, Swiatek serving to stay in the match. 15-love. Love. As we just serve now from Swiatek as a fault. Second serve. All right, 15-love. Swiatek serves again. By the way, set point for Coachella. And a backhand return from Collins. The backhand of Swiatek. Forehand from Collins to the backhand of Swiatek. Collins on the stretch for the slice. Swiatek forehand cross. Collins gets it. Into the forehand of Swiatek down the line of the backhand of Collins. The backhand of Swiatek, who hits it wide. And it's 15-0. And Swiatek yells at herself again. Slaps herself in the leg. As Gauff hits a backhand into the backhand of Stolar. And Stolar hits a winner down the line. No. Yes. Maybe. Yes. It was a winner. Okay. Okay, still set point though, because remember, deuce is sudden death. There's a bit of serve into the forehand of Stolar. Return goes back into Gauff. Stolar backhand, and the Eala volley is a winner. The Eala wins the point and the set for her team. 6-3. Coachella take the first. Okay, 15-0. Swiatek trying to stay in this match. Swiatek says a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Yeah, chat, there's no shot that Eala and Gauff are the same height. Gauff is much... Like, it's not even the... I don't think it's... Gauff is much... Well, Gauff looks much taller than she does on TV. especially when she's sitting next to somebody who's not as tall. But Eala is not the same height as Gauff. Eala is way smaller. Like, Eala's more of like, I mean, she's way more like Pegula. And it's 15:30. Swiatek in trouble as Collins returns it, but it's long. 30 all. 30 all. $30 all. Swiatek serves again. She double faults. Match point for Danielle Collins. To take a huge win on clay against the best clay quarter of the 2020s. And only her second win against Swiatek, which is kind of interesting. Serve is a fault. Oh, no. Second serve. Second serve. Serve in the back of the Collins. Return goes back into Swiatek. Collins backhand down the line. Swiatek gets with the forehand cross. Collins gets it. Into the forehand Swiatek. Now Collins on the stretch with a slice. Swiatek lets it bounce. Hits a backhand. And it's a winner. Swiatek survives. Woo. Deuce. We get the deuce. Man. Swiatek, I mean, she's been making a lot of errors on the ground strokes. Okay. We get the deuce. Still not out of danger, though. Serve is a let. Swiatek serves again. Serve to the forehand of Collins. Return goes into the forehand of Swiatek. Down the line of the backhand of Collins. The Swiatek backhand. Into the backhand of Collins on the stretch. Swiatek lets it bounce. And then hits a backhand straight to Collins, who puts up a lob. And then Swiatek with a smash put away. Ooh, that was sketchy. Anyways, advantage Swiatek to hang on. Man, that backhand, I mean, that smash, I mean, that could have easily gone in the net. I don't think she hit that clean. That could have easily gone straight into the ground. All right, advantage Swiatek. Yeah, look, we're not going to disrespect players. If you don't like Collins, keep it to yourself. As that goes out on the return, and Swiatek 5-all. She saves the match point. All right, back to Collins. Still not out of trouble. 5-5. 1 hour played in the second set, by the way. Swiatek, by the way, I think is just wiping some of the clay off her face. She's got some clay in her eyes. All right, Collins serving. Collins with the serve. Match point saved by Swiatek, if you're just joining us. Also, the doubles match going on right now. It's Eala 6-3 first set with Gauff, of course. The superstar doubles combo. As we're back in the net by Swiatek. 15 love. 15 love. All right, 15 love. As Collins serves again. As a fault from, a return in the net from Swiatek. 30 love. Bublik and Ruda 1 set all. Damn. And Fokina's down 4-love. Schneider won, though. So that's cool. And Fritz lost the first in a tiebreak. That's crazy. Anyways, backhand Collins is a winner. It's 40-love. Swiatek's going to have to play a tiebreak if she's going to keep her hopes alive. By the way, if you're not watching the doubles, Gauff and Eala are just having fun. Like, they're winning, which helps, but like the way every time they miss a point, they're like, damn. But they're just having fun. It's so fun to watch players just having fun on court. That's why it's fun to watch Alcaraz. And it's 40-love Collins. She tries to stay in front and force Swiatek to serve to stay in the match again. As Collins hits a double fault. 40-15. All right, 40-15. As Collins serves again. And it's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. The back end of Swiatek. Collins wins the point and shouts at her coaches. All right, 6-5. Swiatek's going to have to serve to stay in this match again and play a tiebreak too. The energy between the doubles and Swiatek Collins is night and day. Swiatek Collins is tense. And the doubles is fun. 40-30, by the way, as that goes out in the volley of Panova. And it's going to be break point for Coachella to break first in the doubles. In the second set of the doubles. And it's going to be Gauff returning serve on this break point. As Gauff, did they win the point? What happened? I looked down for 2 seconds and then they won the point. What happened? Did they break? No. Good serving from Panova Stolar and it's 1-love. Okay. Swiatek serving to stay in the match again. All right. 6-5 Collins. She just had a match point in the last game. 6-5. Okay, Swiatek to serve. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Swiatek serves. Into the back end of Collins. Return goes forward to Swiatek. Collins gets the free point. Swiatek goes wide. Love 15. Love 15. Swiatek serves again. Another fault, second serve. Second serve. Into the back end of Collins. Return is good to the back of Swiatek. Collins. Cross-court backhand winner. Love 30. Uh-oh. Love 30. Swiatek in trouble again on serve. She's faced so many break points too. Her serve has gotten better in the second set, but still hasn't been untouchable. So they've been broken once in this set though. I love 30. Collins 2 points away. Swiatek serves the backhand. Collins' return is in. And then Swiatek's backhand is out. Love 40. 1-1, by the way. Coachella hold. 3 match points in a row. Love 40. Swiatek's going to have to produce a miracle here. Love 40. Swiatek serves. Match points, Collins again. Swiatek with a serve. Down the tee, the corner, Collins. Return goes back to Swiatek. Collins. Backhand again to the back of Swiatek. As Collins hits it long. Wow, Swiatek hit the baseline on one of those shots. Hangs on. 15-40. It looked like it was out, but Collins hit it out. Swiatek hit the baseline. She's still down match points, sorry. 15-40. Swiatek serves again. A fault. Second serve. Second serve. Second serve is into the backhand of Collins. Good return. Swiatek gets it. As Collins backhand cross court. Swiatek hanging on. As Collins at the backhand of the stretch now. Swiatek back in control. Backhand goes wide though. And Collins beats Swiatek on clay. And Collins smiles. Big smile. The handshake is exactly what you would expect. Very professional. All right. Collins wins. 7-5 in the second set. But, I mean, I don't know, chat. I mean, look, should we be worried about Swiatek? Of course, because she's been untouchable on clay for years. But has she ever not... I mean, there's been times where she's beaten Collins easily, but Collins has always been a threat. And you look at who she's lost to in the last 3 tournaments, right? She's lost to Penko, Gauff, Collins. And like I said earlier, if that was on a hard court, we wouldn't speak of it. We'd be like, oh yeah, she's just losing to players that she struggles against. It's because it's on clay, that's what makes it concerning, because she doesn't lose to these players on clay. At least she doesn't lose to Gauff and Collins on clay. But she does lose to them. She has lost to them, right? So it's hard to know whether... I mean, she's not as playing as well as she was last year, Swiatek. We know that on clay. She was unbeatable on clay last year, pretty much. I feel like if she... I mean, it might just come down to the draw at the French. Because if she gets a good draw, we know she can beat players that she can beat, right? She beat Cocciaretto easily this week. She even beat Noskova easily in Madrid. If she gets players that she knows that don't trouble her, or that she has never worried about before, then she might be able to have a run at the French and maybe win it again. But if she gets a Collins in a third round, or a Penko, even if she gets like Keys in a semi or a quarter, or Gauff in a semi, that's going to be a problem. So it's hard to know. It's like, yeah, okay, it's alarming for Swiatek. Yeah, this is not great. But is she losing to players that she's never lost to? No. She's losing to players that always give her trouble. Or she's losing sets to players that would trouble her, like Keys, right? So I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I think it comes down to the draw. If Swiatek gets a bad draw, it's going to be real tough. She's not going to, she's not as dominant on clay as she was 12 months ago. But if she gets a decent draw and she avoids these players, I don't know if we should be worried about Swiatek if she gets a decent draw. But usually when Swiatek comes to the clay, it doesn't matter what draw she gets, it's clay, right? So the first French Open for a while, the draw is important for Iga Swiatek. And she's going to be number 4, right? She's going into Roland Garros as the 4th seed, which is insane. And that's only if Paolini doesn't win the tournament. If Paolini wins the tournament, she'll be number 5 seed, which is, you don't want to be number 5. If you're number 5 seed, yuck. That's the worst seed, because then you have to play Sabalenka, Gauff, or Pegula potentially in a quarterfinal. So you don't want to be number 5. So she doesn't. She'll be rooting for Jabeur today, but I mean, she's number 4 in the world for the first time since I want to say start of 2022. First time out of the top 2 since then, I think. Or at least number 4. She hasn't. I think Gauff might have taken number 2 and then gone backwards, but yeah, she is number 4 in the world and number 4 seed at the French. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, great for Collins. I mean, Collins has not really been super, she hasn't been great this year compared to last year, but that's a great win. That's probably her best win. At least her best win against Swiatek by a mile. 32 winners, 13 errors from Collins. We're talking about how Swiatek wasn't playing well. Collins was not giving out free points. She was playing great. 32 winners, 13 errors is a massive. It was a great match. Swiatek hit a hell of a lot of errors. Her serve in the first set, Swiatek's serve is not working. It is a problem. But Collins was amazing, so we've got to credit her as well because Collins played very, very well. Did not give anything away. There was no charity. And sometimes Collins does give charity. We know that Collins sometimes does, is known to sometimes cause or at least produce errors, but not today. Today she was rock solid and took over. All right. Well, that's the start of the day, and we're going to keep watching the doubles. So if you want to keep watching the doubles, come on over. Eala and Gauff are up a set and a break. We also have Sinner coming up in about 3.5 hours. So if you're not coming back for this doubles match, then come back for that later. But great win by Collins, and Iga Swiatek is going to the French Open without a clay court title. In fact, she's gone to the French Open without a title since last year's French Open, which is the first time in a long time. And Collins wins 6-1, 7-5. She just got her best win on clay. I'll see you guys soon. If you're not coming back for the doubles, we'll see you in the Sinner match.